Hello, everyone. This is Kim Victoria, and in today's video, I'm going to do a flip through of this new journal that I just made and give you some tips on how I did it and some ideas of what you might like to do in making your own journals. So let's see what we've got inside here. All right, in first place, it's a pretty fat one. There's 3 signatures in there, and this is not leather. This is vinyl. I was given some vinyl and I wanted to use it for a journal. So I started with the cover. I didn't know what I was going to put inside. I just started with the cover and wanted to figure out, well, how am I going to make this cover? So we'll come back to the closure, and that can always get shortened. Anyway, this is going to be available in my Etsy shop. Well, it is now for, whoever might be interested. It's sewn in signatures. So when I made this cover, I had seen a video where there were pockets in the cover itself, and I thought, well, that's kind of a nifty idea. Can I translate that into this vinyl? So what I did was I made a tube. I made a tube out of this vinyl, and inside is the heaviest weight. It's a non-woven interfacing, but it's the heaviest weight you can buy. So it's not quite like something that's called buckram or anything like that, but it's very sturdy. So that's what I decided I would, while it was before I sewed it and glued it and all that stuff, I glued that interfacing to the vinyl, and then I sewed it, and you can see the seam here. So it is sewn, and then I turned it right side out, and this part was really long. So as I said, I was really experimenting on this one. So I wanted to create these pockets, and what I have in here is I made a little mini notepad. I think a standard notepad would fit in here. I haven't tried it yet, but there is a mini notepad. But this is a really neat just a little pocket. So the excess material is glued. I had to cut it. I could sew this, but at the time I was just, you know, I was making it up as I went along. So anyway, I glued these extra pieces in, and it creates this. And I could put a snap in here. I'm not sure if I'll do anything extra with that, but it works. It works. So there was a tube, and so there's this side, and on this pocket, I made a writing board, and writing boards are so nice because when you get some kind of a lumpy page, like there's something in here and you want to write on one of these pages, you can just slip in this writing board and it makes it nice and firm. You'll see as I flip through, there's some rubber stamping, and I did it all afterward. And having the writing board was really nice because it made it nice and firm for rubber stamping. So this, the writing board's got a little scrapbook paper. I have this really fun rubber stamp. Go out and tilt some windmills, eh? So yeah, so you can see that's a nice pocket in there. And this flap is just pulled over and it's entirely glued inside. So if I were to do this again, I think I would do some extra sewing, but vinyl isn't as tough as leather. So I felt like using a really strong glue. And of course, I used my favorite for this purpose, which is this. It's not water-based. It's acetone based. And they call it an advanced craft glue, and it's great for fabrics, but it's great for paper. It's fantastic. And acid-free, waterproof, very strong, tough stuff. I've really enjoyed using this. So it worked fantastic for this application. The pen holder was actually an afterthought. After I got all the signatures done and I got them sewn in, there was all this nice space. So hey, let us put a pen holder in. And this is a nice brand new black G2 gel type pen, which works really well on these brown papers. It's nice and dark. So let's set that aside. So let's go through the signatures. So when I did this and I got this all done, I was thinking, this is the cover. And I was thinking, this is kind of a masculine theme, you know? It's brown, it's simple. I really didn't want to do any extra embellishments on this. And I have something to say about, if you stick with me to the end, I've got something to say about different journals that are available on the shops and internet and stuff. So we'll save that. So I wanted to go with the brown theme. And I had some fun with this brown theme. Now I have a pack of scrapbook paper that has a lot of brown themed papers. So that's what I went with. I went with that and the tan papers. And when I make a journal, I'm making it specific to the theme. My aesthetic, if you will, my style, because I also paint watercolors and oils and draw, and I have that background in training, is I see each of these journals as a composition. And as a composition, I'm looking for harmony, unity, cohesiveness, having all of the parts and pieces work together to create this whole. So when I'm creating journals, I'm thinking of them as a piece of art. So with that in mind, I want to share that with you because that's that's why my journals look the way they do. A lot of junk journal makers make these awesome, cool journals, but what they'll do is they'll make batches of things that can be put in, and then they put those things together. And I'm more of a composition. So there's different way. I've seen other journal makers do that too. So that's just my particular style and aesthetic. So anyway, we have three signatures, and this first signature, some scrapbook paper, and my secondary theme was positive thoughts and today is your day, and you'll see little elements of that in here. And I do some junk in my journals. So this was a little box and it had this little opening. And I thought, well, before I throw that box away, I decided I would just hang on to it and flatten it out. And I wound up using it. So I made these little pockets with it. So I sewed it before I glued it onto this cover. But I wanted to have that little window, and I did ink the edges. I used a circle punch to create those little shapes, and I just made a couple of little tags. I have some words that came with this kit that I was going like, oh, well, what today? I mean, journals are about writing in the moment today. So I was going with that. And then I found this word remember in this kit of scrapbook paper. So again, just a little spot. You can this could be a spot for the name of the owner of the journal, whoever owns it. And I was playing with some corrugated cardboard. Again, that was actually what normally would go in recycling, and it was a separator between some dishes, and it had this little corrugated side. So I thought that was kind of cool. I did do some sewing in this journal. So there's the sewing, and that's holding this pocket. And I always write like a letter to whoever acquires the journal. Let them know what I was thinking about, just like what I do when I paint a picture. When I do a painting, a drawing, watercolor, oil, whatever it happens to be, I want to let people know what was I thinking about? Why, did I make those choices I made? So here's an example of the rubber stamping, and this happens to be from Stamping Up, and it's really cool because it's a writing journal, so I was going with that. And again, using the writing board, it was easy to rubber stamp on this page. I also created some lined paper in a document so that I could print it out and tea dye lined paper so that that's going this way. Because otherwise, most of your lined paper pads, of course, when you fold them in half, the lines are going to go this way. So I made this for my own use in journals. So then I have just some commercial paper and a few little things clipped in here and there. There's a little room on the back, more of that corrugated paper, rubber stamp. So it's a fairly simple journal. I didn't get into, because it was a masculine kind of theme I was going for, I didn't want to get into lace, ruffles, doilies, too much of that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be more of a clean, straightforward sort of journal with lots of writing space. And this is one of the bookmarks I learned from the Treasure Books YouTube channel, where it's and I sewed this on. So it's just a couple of pieces of scrapbook paper. This one's folded over, doubled up, so it's stiffer. Makes a great bookmark. I like this style of bookmark because it sits on the page and it doesn't come out easily. It's very nice. So here's that pen again. I made this stamp custom. I did the design and then I sent it in and I got myself a rubber stamp made um, of that. It's just a fun little thing that I like to put in various places. So you can see the tea dye. Here's the center. So I made a few tags, tried to put a little inspiration in here and there. Give yourself time to write. You get to decide what time it is. Writing helps you think. The art of writing is the art of discovering what you believe. Just some, little inspirational things. Smile, your writing will be better. So very simple pages. Another rubber stamp I have. So this is definitely a writing journal. Now, a really marvelous book. I'll find it and I'll insert that into the video. It's it shows all this beautiful handwriting that somebody produced as I think it's from the 1800s. I'll get the book and I'll show you. So I copied on my flatbed scanner some of the pages, and they're just this gorgeous. This is hand done. The days when handwriting was an art form, but also just really appreciated. So these gorgeous script. So I thought it would be fun to include something about on the art of writing. And I'll insert that an image of that book. So here's the book that I got that page from. And it is a reproduction by Dover Publications. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this. This is just incredible. So it is, I picked it up at a thrift store. Engraved by George Bickham, London, 1743. So I love Dover Publications because they do these wonderful reproductions, and you are allowed to copy and use some of these. You're not allowed to resell the book, copy and resell the book or anything. Good copyright law, but you can use some of the images. You can use this sort of thing. So I did scan some of them that I can use here and there, and so that page that I put in the journal is in here, and it's just, I mean, this all hand done. Amazing, I would love to see a return. There are calligraphers, but I would love to see penmanship brought back to the schools. So there's my little soapbox on that. But isn't this gorgeous? And then you've got some of these plates, some of this art. It's just amazing. So that's that book. So that's back there. Now this second signature is kind of different. It has, I don't know if you can hear it, but it has has it has some interesting sound. It was actually the inside of a shipping envelope. So it was junk. We think about junk journals. We think about, well, what are we going to use? I lined it with some of my tea-dyed paper, wrapped it around, used some art tape, inked the edges. And this is a fun thing when I take these out. This little paper bag, I got at a restaurant. This was the bottom. and it held the knife and fork. And I looked at that and I went, oh, wouldn't that make a cool pocket? So I did. Um, I was with my sister-in-law, so I got two of these little bags and they're in this journal. So look at that. So you can use some of those silverware little bags. You get it at some restaurants and save them. Oh my God, they make great little pockets. So there's my good idea. And because I have my good idea, I bought a couple of light bulbs, and these light bulbs came in this really cool cardboard box with images of light bulbs. So I went, well, isn't that cool? So a little tea-dyed paper pasted on, and there is a little bookmark tag kind of thing. And this is a stencil that I have. So again, a little tea-dyed paper, some more of that corrugated cardboard paper, and take a leap. Take a leap and do some writing. So because this is a brown journal, I played around with brown paper in this middle signature. So this was from packing material. So brown paper packing material. Another light bulb. And a little something I wrote with a piece of my art. So just a little something. And then just some simple pages. Here's the centerfold, lots of good idea stamps. So I had a little fun with this. Again, I did a few ideas there. So I made a couple of little notepads. Very simple, just stapled in. A little clip in these big pockets. And with this one, Write for the Joy of Writing. And in this one, I was playing around with that paper that you saw before. And I was just folding it just to have fun folding it. And I went, oh, look at that. I can fold it so that it's a continuation of the border, but then be tall and narrow. I went, well, gee, that might make a kind of a neat little notebook. So, so that again is just, you got to play with paper, right? Those of you who like paper and are playing with it, you just can't help yourself. So very simple and plain. Another light bulb. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. My sister-in-law gave me that one. Little mini pad. You can always add more goodies to these. There's the other side. So that's the second signature. And here's the third signature, different scrapbook paper, another light bulb, another one of those flatware bags. And we all have to consult our muse when we're creating art or doing writing. That's a rubber stamp I have. And we have a couple of little journaling spots. Some more rubber stamping using the writing board. This is another bookmark. So this one's very simple. I just stitched it across the top. So it sits nice. Woohoo. Oh, by the way, for those of you who like to dye paper, this is turmeric. So I made a bath of turmeric, and then when I got down to kind of the bottom of the container of it, I just splattered it, and I got this wonderful bright yellow. So turmeric is a great paper dye. Very easy to do. Another one of those little finials. This is the center. This was some wrapping paper. It fit with the brown theme. It's really pretty. So I gave it a couple of corner pockets. These are a couple of the cutouts from the scrapbook paper kit. That's similar to that Muse tag. So same company of rubber stamps. They're not available anymore, unfortunately. Can't get those anymore. Just art is not a thing. It is a way. So I got a lot of mileage out of that corrugated paper. More good idea, more turmeric. Another pen with the inkwell. So yeah, it's kind of simple. This is grid paper. Might not be able to see that too well. So I tried to use a variety of papers. And the last page, you did it. Whenever that happens with the finial. And because it's a brown journal, a friend of mine suggested, well, why don't you give a couple of recipes that feature, brown food? So I found a couple of my favorites. This was from a vintage cookbook, the Boys Cookbook Brownies. Super easy to make, and they are really good. Very simple, simple ingredients, really lovely stuff. And this is something I do. I spice coffee, especially in the wintertime. So there's kind of a recipe and my own notes of how I do that. So I thought that was a kind of a fun idea. And again, we've got the pen holder, we've got the writing board, we have a notepad that fits right in. And this is a button to reinforce, because as I said, vinyl isn't as strong as leather, so you kind of have to protect it. So I put a button on the back of this button. This is a shank button, and it's actually a little clock. Pretty cool. And this is actual leather cord. And 3 beads, and there you have it. The the brown journal. So this thank you for watching the video, and this will be in the Etsy shop in case you're interested. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. I had one last thing that I wanted to share with you um, before I end the video, and I had mentioned it ever so briefly, which is that, I made this, so it's like an art piece from my hands. I live in the United States. I live in Utah at the present moment. And this is vinyl. It's not leather. And there are leather handmade journals available in Etsy shops and other places. So I was looking them up. I wanted to get a sense of what I would charge for such a piece. And, it's as an artist, sometimes it can be a little dismaying because, yes, I handmade this, and you can get beautiful leather journals for $30 to $50 that are actual leather that have 3 signatures, and they're handmade. They're gorgeous. I looked at them and they're really nice. But the difference is they're made in India. And these artisans are earning maybe 50 cents, a dollar an hour, So they would make a journal like this, and maybe they would only earn $10 for it, because then there's the shipping and the person who's selling it here in the States, they have to make a profit. So I'm just sharing this with you so that when you see these different prices of things, kind of look at when it says handmade, where is it handmade? And I'm definitely an advocate for fair trade, but it's like it makes it hard sometimes for an artist because I can't charge 50 cents an hour for my time necessarily, because I have 20 hours in this thing. And if I was making these on a regular basis and a lot of them and repetitious, and I had lots of materials and I was kind of doing an assembly line thing, I could really cut that down. But I do have about 20 hours because as I said, I like making it a cohesive whole where I'm thinking about, oh, what should I put on the tag and things like that. So I'm not whining. It might sound like it. I just want you to be aware that, yes, you can get a really nice leather journal for $30 to $50. So that's not what I'm going to charge. And if I never sell it, oh well, we'll see. But I'm an artist, and I need to sell it for more than more than $15 to into my shop. So anyway, thank you for listening. And so that's all for now. Thank you for watching my video. And I hope you join me for my next video. Bye for now.